The International Ibsen Award is often referred to as a Nobel Prize of Theatre. It is to honor an organization, institution or individual that has contributed to the global dramatic art or given the theatre new dimensions. We are here, Hanne Tømta and myself, in New York City to meet the winner for the very first time and to share some very good news. We are presenting this award in the name of Henrik Ibsen, our world-famous playwright. So together with the news, we have a special gift. Taylor Mac, singer-songwriter, playwright, actor, will receive one of Henrik Ibsen's plays. It's a first edition of A Doll's House that we will give to Taylor Mac.
It's nice to be in lineage because it makes you feel like you're part of a conversation. It makes you feel like you may be doing the good work, but who knows? You know, you got to be in consideration. You might be messing everybody up. If the theme is heterogeneity and an exploration of that, then we've got to use lots of different forms and styles and genres in order to get there. And lots of different considerations. We're putting the virtuosity next to imperfection, and we're giving them equal weight.
Today we're just marking to do the story. Actually, let's go to 70 so we can name that for you.
You know, we're creating these spaces because these spaces don't exist in dominant culture. And so how do you allow places that are like not trying to reduce stories or individuals or art down to, you know, very pragmatic little containers, but actually explode them up into questions. Like, this is the project, you know, and I feel so lucky to be doing it with Taylor.
I probably won't know what the award means for at least another 10 years, or if ever. When you get the torch, it's nerve-wracking, but once you get it, you just get to run. So I think that there's some liberation to it, that I don't have to try so hard.
We've had the opportunity to work with Taylor for about 9 years now, and met him at a time where he had been working in New York for decades, pounding the pavement as a playwright, performer, singer, songwriter, activist, musician. We met right when he had this idea to create this very robust, audacious work called A 24-Decade History of Popular Music. And in many ways, I feel like that opus and that masterpiece that Taylor created has probably been something that's been in his life, in his world, his whole life. I think that Taylor's one of the most authentic artists I've ever met. This incredible, innate sense of justice, vast intelligence. He has a particular view of the world and what the world could be. And it's radical. It's radical in his storytelling. I think it's radical in his belief of what human beings are capable of.
Not a great guitar player, so.
Taylor and I have a process that we've worked through for many years, and it's basically we try things out, we start experimenting with a song, and we don't always know in advance what style we're looking for because we do a lot of different styles with a lot of different songs.
Okay. So
when people come to the theater, they come with expectations, and they come to have an experience that they've already kind of crafted in their mind. Like, I bought a ticket, I know what show I'm going to, I think I know what it's about, I think I know what's going to happen. And Taylor and I always say to each other before the show, what's gonna happen? We're making a show. And what it means is, we don't know what's gonna happen either. I mean, we've crafted a show, obviously, but once you get in the room, whatever's going on in the house, that's the art in the room.
So everybody who had your head on the person's shoulder, now I'd like you to take your head and put it on their lap, please. Face away from crotch. And this time, you're not going to condescendingly comfort them, but you're actually just going to really comfort them.
I think the audience has to let go of their attachments to be present in the show because of that.
As they see your rosy rest, so that you must smile and answer as you slumber on my breast.
One of the things that we love about the art that we make together is the highbrow, lowbrow connection. We're basically looking for ways to do things that have real thought behind them and real meaning in society, and slightly undercut them or maybe just add to them.
The Fool used to perform at the court, and now the Fool is relegated to the street or the basement bar. And so we've kind of been getting the Fool back in the court.
Taylor really knows how to choose people that will blend and work well together. Music, sets, props. Right now, the best thing I have to offer is my brain and my hair. He lets me be free when a different performer might be more controlling. So he doesn't control me, and I can do whatever I want, and that means I can grow and I can build. And so it's a very liberating environment. What Taylor is wearing on stage is a lot of ideas. Sometimes he incorporates them and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes if a costume is obvious, then there's no work to be done, and that's not very interesting. 5 minutes after you walk out on stage, the surprise is, of the costume is over, you kind of stop seeing it. Costumes are almost their own characters, having a great time. Yeah.
Had Neptune, when he first took charge of the sea, been as wise, or at least been as merry as we, he'd have thought better on it, and instead of the brine, would have filled the vast ocean with generous. Everybody, when I drink, you're gonna drink, okay? If you got something to drink. Right, here we go.
The National Theatre is, I would say, the theatre closest connected to Henrik Ibsen. But since we do have the Ibsen Festival, this is where the Henrik Ibsen spirit is really kept alive today. Most people look upon him as dusty, classical, old-fashioned, but he wasn't, and he isn't. His legacy is still living around the world. I think that Taylor Mac really is an artist who shows us the power of theater, how it can affect people, and that he might be able or is willing to risk a change in the society in the same way that Henrik Ibsen actually did when he was alive and kicking.
I love Taylor Mack's work because it's playful, it's irreverent, it's intelligent. It celebrates the audience, and the audience not as a single monolithic entity, but as different individuals that are coming together in that one moment to experience and participate in the crafting and the creation of a piece of art. And the other thing is that he often gets you to really talk about the work afterwards. I can't stop talking about the work when I see it. And you start talking to people you've never spoken to before next to you about what's happening.
He knows exactly how divided we are. This way of creating a ritual that makes a positive experience of a community is something that is really rare. He's really a shaman because he knows all the techniques of transformation. I think he wants to heal his audience from bad experiences, from being divided, being divorced, and doing this by music, doing that by having a straight relation to his message. I think he's a kind of alien, as every shaman is an alien for me, is a person who's building a bridge to another world, and that's a very special kind of power.
Go past that place where you feel like it's okay to end. No, we want you to be uncomfortable. Imagine feeling uncomfortable in a ritual sacrifice.
He messes with us as the audience, and he loves us. When you go through that experience together with Taylor, you are changed.
Excites them, but it also tends to open them, make them sit up and pay attention to things in a different way, and I think it's a really fascinating technique.
He has this magic ability of creating beauty and resistance at the same time.
Just for the sake of entertainment and for the sake of pleasure on a daily basis, living together, listening to each other.
Theatre's a way of bringing people together. He has converted that into a new way of thinking about a purpose for theatre in the 21st century.
Can we just ask more questions and keep wondering and not know?
Done, mission is completed. It was a bit like that. Propose the ring.
I'm considering. This was the prize.
Yes, it is. It is.